Just recently, Martin Scorsese's The Irishman appeared as a 3.5-hour mafia film on Netflix. The focus is now completely on Scorsese's latest project, Killers of the Flower Moon, which disappeared a bit during the whole hype around The Irishman. The Collider magazine found out in an interview with Scorsese's cameraman Rodrigo Prieto that they plan to start shooting Killers of the Flower Moon in March 2020. At first glance, Killers of the Flower Moon and The Irishman are relatively similar. Both are about a well-known murder story and both are based on true events. The story takes place in Oklahoma of the 1920s and revolves around a huge discovery of crude oil deposits, which are, however, located under the land of American natives. As you can imagine, many of them are then murdered and the oil rights go to the farmer William Hale, who himself is behind most of the murders. The role of William Hale will be played by Robert De Niro, while his counterpart from the FBI will be played by Leonardo DiCaprio. It's also quite possible that they will again use a digital rejuvenation on De Niro, like in The Irishman, because the real William Hale was in his 40s, while De Niro is now 76 years old. An official release date is not yet fixed, but Killers of the Flower Moon will most likely not be released before the end of 2021. The Rise of the Planet of the Apes film series is now one of the oldest franchises at 20th Century Fox and has been part of Disney since the takeover. As the Hollywood Reporter reports, Maze Runner director Wes Ball will now take care of it. Sounds unusual at first. After all, Disney is generally considered to be a very family-friendly company with corresponding films. Rise of the Planet of the Apes, which revolves around a dystopia in which the monkeys have taken over control of the Earth after a nuclear war, is certainly not one of them at first glance. More details are unfortunately not yet known. What is certain, however, is that they definitely have plans for the franchise. However, it's not yet clear whether this will be a reboot or a sequel. The Rise of the Planet of the Apes franchise is based on a science fiction novel by Pierre Boulle, which was filmed for the first time in 1968 and became a huge success thanks to its main character Charlton Heston. Numerous sequels and even a TV series followed until in 2001 a rather unsuccessful remake of Tim Burton appeared for the first time. The last reboot trilogy was with Andy Serkis as Ape Caesar and was quite successful. The extent to which Wes Ball's new film will follow up on this or not is not certain, but of course we will keep you up to date as always. For some time now, Todd McFarlane has been developing a remake of the Spawn comics. However, the production is currently on hold due to disagreements over the direction of the film. However, McFarlane seems to think that the whole thing has become too much, because in a conversation with Be Terrific, he explains that he has people who would support him financially. In other words, he plays with the idea that he would shoot the film without the studio if in doubt. So it doesn't seem that much has changed since his last interview with Comic Book in May, because even then he declared that his ideas for the film wouldn't please everyone in charge. Moreover, he was not willing to change his original in the way he was asked to. And this despite the fact that the cast with Jamie Foxx as main hero and Jeremy Renner as Detective Twitch Williams was almost certain. The story is about the ex-agent Al Simmons, who's betrayed and killed by the CIA. Thereupon, Simmons ends up in hell and negotiates a deal with the demon lord Maleblogia so that he can see his wife Wanda again. He then returns as Spawn, gifted with superpowers, and chooses to help the poor and weak instead of his client from hell. The first film adaptation of the Spawn comic was produced for the cinema in 1997. This resulted in the release of a cartoon series and even a video game in 2003. But neither the movie nor the series and the game was well received by fans and critics. We are curious when we will see the movie, because if you believe the words of McFarlane, the movie will definitely happen, with or without the studio. For a long time, it had been quiet around the planned filming of Hideo Kojima's Metal Gear Solid series. But now there are some good news from director Jordan Vogt Roberts on Twitter. It seems as if things are progressing behind the scenes. He and his screenwriter Derek Connolly have also submitted a new script after the old draft, which has been around since the summer of 2018, was not too popular. But there are also news regarding the cast, including a hot candidate for the leading role of elite soldier Solid Snake. Who exactly this should be was not revealed, but Star Wars actor Oscar Isaac has already expressed his interest in the role a few months ago. What will please many fans of the video game series is that Vogt Roberts has once again emphasized that he will definitely remain true to the original. The script is supposed to be full of Kojima peculiarities and military surrealism. When we can expect a film, unfortunately, is not yet certain at the moment. Hardly anyone is currently as much in demand in Hollywood as Keanu Reeves. He's currently involved in 3 projects: John Wick 4, Matrix 4 and Bill and Ted Face the Music. A pretty big burden for the 55-year-old, as his John Wick colleague Lance Reddick also says, who reveals in an interview on KinoCheck.com that there is still no script for John Wick 4. Furthermore, he says that although they are working on writing a script, it is not that easy because Keanu Reeves is still committed to 2 other movies. Moreover, he's not sure whether Matrix 4 or John Wick 4 will come next. Reddick's not wrong, as the shooting of Matrix 4 is scheduled for the beginning of next year, while Keanu Reeves is probably fully scheduled for the promotion of Bill and Ted Face the Music in mid-2020, which would result in various travels and interviews. So when John Wick 4 arrives will depend on how quickly a script and thus a shooting schedule is completed. So far, the US-American release date is May 21 in 2021, but should there still be no shooting schedule in a few months' time, the release will certainly be delayed quite a bit.